In the city of Fossilis, where superpowered beings are always on the loose, there's one hero constantly protecting the city. Now, the heroes of Fossila all have powers given to them by the spirits of dinosaurs. You see, dinosaurs were not simply animals like most people think. They were different. You see, dinosaurs were spirits, elementals, each one with a different elemental power. And legend said that they would one day awaken and give their powers to humans so they could protect their city. Now, quite a recent hero is Parasol. Now, she is a recent hero, only just joining the league to protect the city, which is already proven to be one of the strongest, gifted flame powers by a Parasaurolophilus. As you may know, we're experiencing an increase in demon attacks recently. However, the newest demon to attack us is quite interesting. As you may know, saltwater is the enemy of most demons, being the one weakness of them all. This is why we set up our base in the middle of the water and send troops out onto land. However, these new demons that appear like the dinosaur or plesiosaur are able to live within water, even salt water. Now, whilst some demons before could fly over it, none like this. However, it is proven that they need increased demon energy to do this, so that whenever they're sent after our base, it means that less of the other land demons are, so we should be able to handle them pretty easily. However, if we're able to do this with that much demon energy, we should be cautious if they are able to do it with less in the future. Mechanite Golem logs. Today I'll be logging the golem that me and Mornite recently tracked down in Glitch Knight's world. And these golems, this one appears similar to the one that was used by Zonterax the day he invaded Glitch Knight's world. We haven't heard from him since, but stranger and stranger golems have been popping up recently. And since golems infect things like a zombie virus, we think they're infecting aliens. However, this one does quite look like the dinosaur from my world, the Stegosaurus. However, covered in the same runes that Zonterax's minion was covered in. During the battle, me and Mornite were able to take it down relatively easy. However, it was one of the harder demons to have fought, having a pretty good defense. We're starting to get scared that maybe Zonterax has more for this world than we thought. But we're doing pretty good at defending it so far. Right, so day 4 was Empedendrosaurus. As I said in the disclaimer at the start, not all of these I'll be doing lore and stories for. Some of them I can only do design notes, since design notes only really fit. So, Empedendrosaurus is like this cool dinosaur with like a really long finger, like one really long finger. So I decided to make it, a Pokemon since, well, the prompt was Pokemon, so I kind of had to. It's a Fire Steel type. I really had fun doing this. I made it Dendrosoldier and Shieldrosaur, or Shieldrosaurus. I think they'd have a high defense, high attack, probably rubbish special attack and special defense. Overall, I just made the finger into a spear and then a trident. I just thought that really looked cool, and I think I do need to practice on the Pokemon art style still. I mean, most of the time I do pixel art, but since this is a drawing challenge, I just kept doing drawings. But overall, I quite like this one, and hey, this is canon to the Gloria region. Everything changed the day the zombies arose, but it wouldn't fully change until quite a bit after that. Now, when the zombie virus first struck, people were getting infected left and right, but unlike popular movies and TV shows, people were dying almost instantly when infected. This wasn't the same though for the dinosaurs, beings that were genetically brought back to life to help humans in their everyday tasks. Dinosaurs were rotting, yes, however somehow they were still alive, as the zombie virus upped the amount of blood their heart was pumping around the body. So, major cities were attacked. Flying dinosaurs like pterodactyls and swimming ones like plesiosaurs spread the virus all over the planet. Humans were dying left and right, and now dinosaurs are zombifying. Almost no humans remain. This one was Gigantamax. This is another one where I can only really do design notes and not lore and story, since the Pokemon ones didn't really work with that. And I did this one as Irritator, which is actually a dinosaur I discovered from Subjectively, who did Maysozoic last year. I think it's really cool because its skull was sold on the black market, and part of it was broken off to make it look cooler. Now, I imagine like the regular Pokemon before it Gigantamaxes would have like a bandage or something on it. They tried to make it look a bit like worried or something. I don't really know where that came from, but I kind of went with the same idea as the what's it called, Gallostarters, where they have one part of them that grows significantly more than the rest. Like Inteleon's Sniper, Cinderace's Football. This one I went with a Snout. Honestly, I really like this, to be honest. Vasella is one of the most famous cities in the world. However, it would soon change, because in the near future, the dinosaurs' ancient spirits would end up fizzling out, and it meant no new superheroes could be made. Whilst some superheroes had lifespans that were extended by their powers, over time they would all eventually die or pass away. But their genes still held the dinosaur DNA. These would be used to create biological and mechanical hybrids, called the Mechasaurs. These were giant mechs based off dinosaurs that would be able to defend the city even after the superheroes had died. The first one of these made was based on the dinosaur Langstonia, and it was used to fight off many of the beasts that the dinosaur spirits did still inhabit.